got a new system for this thing. Oh, did it not get... Okay. It is on now. It is definitely on now. Hi, everybody. I don't know if I'm repeating myself because we got a new system with a new update on my streaming program here. So we shall see what's going on here. So today we're drawing Cliff Schecter. Like always, we're going to have Burial Grid. I really do need new music. That's okay. I really dig that. And Burial Grid's new album's about to drop real soon. So we shall hear it when it comes. But anyways, till then, let me get the chat window set up. I think honestly that takes me more time than whatchamacallit? Yeah. It takes me more time to get the chat window set up than it does to actually draw the thing, it seems. So, how is everybody doing this morning? I figured out why I'm sick. It's doesn't smoke outside like he's supposed to. So, if I am annoyed, I don't know, I gotta figure out what I'm doing about that. So, that will be coming shortly. Don't you worry. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Alright, my chat window's up. Oh, I got so much to do today. Let's like to start with the eyes. This is the opposite of what I wanted to do. Alright. So, yeah. I mean, normally whenever I get sick, I usually bounce right back on these things. But something happened this time, which was not very good. I just haven't. And it's like, it's springtime. But it's, not really springtime just yet. Because, yeah, I have allergy attacks whenever I'm around cigarette smoke. Now, we got a new neighbor, and we're in a building where you're not supposed to smoke in the building, but there are a lot of smokers here. My across-the-hall neighbors, they're smokers, but they don't do it in the building. They actually try to keep it out back when the weather's good. Right now, it's a bit of a muddy mess. So I totally get why they're out front oftentimes. And when the weather's bad, it's out front's the only place where there's a covering and whatnot. So, I greatly, I understand, why people smoke. And really, and if you read my tweet before I went live here, it's capitalism is why people smoke. It's the way we treat employees. We don't give employees quote-unquote mental health breaks, especially if they work retail. But I imagine the same thing's true with manufacturing and construction and whatnot. Because, thanks to people like Henry Ford, we've created a system where work is even more alienating than before. Back before Henry Ford, people were very satisfied being basically like artisan car makers and whatnot. Which I would like to see the return of the artisanal car makers, but that's not gonna happen. So, anyways, yeah. We got recently new downstairs neighbors. Now, the old downstairs neighbor was a veteran with PTSD who was a little kooky. Um, had some anger issues, like and but when we actually talked about stuff, he was actually pretty cool. We um, you know, but he had issues. I do hope he's doing well wherever he is. We got new neighbors in, and since our new neighbors have moved in, which was a few weeks ago, I haven't been feeling great. I couldn't quite figure out why I'm not feeling great. Um, this is the time of year where I'm usually, unless one of my kids brings home a cold from school, I'm usually at my healthiest because it's not very. Most stuff that I'm allergic to isn't out right now, and so I didn't think. Ooh, I didn't think anything was going wrong here. Oh, there's my mistake. I also try to take allergy pills in the wintertime because I don't want to build up an immunity to my allergy pills. As it is, they're expensive. Yeah, let's do it this way. So yeah, I haven't been taking medication like I usually do, which is actually fine. Except I actually needed it, which is not fine because I am pretty sure my downstairs neighbors smoke. Now, we would not live here if this was not a smoke-free building. And if they are not going outside to smoke, that's a problem. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I understand why they smoke. It's because of our system that we have set up the way we treat workers, like I said. It's a lot of people smoke, especially in retail, and I imagine this is also true with. Dear. Okay. I'm sorry. This always takes up so much more time than needs to be. Ugh. Okay, I am broadcasting. So, anyways, yeah. So it's basically like the system rewards people to smoke by allowing them to take mental health breaks, essentially, instead of just letting them just go outside for 10 minutes, get some fresh air. You can't do that unless you smoke. So I think really, if we want people to stop smoking, we either have to make, businesses pay for special covered areas with ventilation to allow people to smoke in them, as well as for health care for people who are smokers. Or we completely change the way the workplaces work. If he has very thin lips. As someone with full lips, sometimes I can be jealous. So I haven't talked about Cliff Schecter. If you guys don't know who Cliff Schecter is, he's a writer for the Daily Beast, co-host of the Unpresidented Podcast with John Aravosis, and hands down, it is like one of the best. I don't think insider is necessarily the right word, because they both have worked inside of Washington, which is true. But like the, imagine like if MSNBC was actually good. Wasn't trying to toe the line of some corporation, but was genuinely like, cared about activism and whatnot. That's kind of where you get the Unprecedented Podcast. As much as I love, Cliff Schecter and everything, I don't always agree with him. That's okay. I always encourage people to use a lot of sources, and I think he's actually a really good source. Just because I don't agree with him doesn't mean, I don't value his opinion. all the time. Because I do usually agree with his assessment of things. Like you know, I might end up at a different conclusion, but excuse me. I think my pills kicked in yet today. But I do greatly appreciate the fact that he takes the time to actually make that argument to get to where doesn't look too bad. To get to the point he wants to make. All right. Now, I have not listened to the new episode of Cartoonist Kayfabe, but I'm so looking forward to to next week's. Ooh. Because next week is the first issue of Wizards magazine I owned. So, I mean, it was like in the 60s. It's not really winter weather. Maybe for Southern California. So I'm really looking forward to this episode. The only time I've ever met my cousin on that side of the family. Not the last time I've seen my grandparents, because that was a bit later. Sadly, they both passed away at this point. Episode of Cartoonist Kayfabe, just for that sheer nostalgia factor right there. Because shortly after that, we moved from Texas to Connecticut. So it was, very difficult to get out to California at that point. A little bit of depth here. Looking forward to kind of getting this done because I have not just that, but I got to listen to a podcast, research for my book. I put two and two together because I went out to run an errand, and the entire hallway smelled like cigarette smoke. It's like, no, this isn't this. No, this is probably why I've been feeling sick for as long as I have, because I usually don't feel this sick for this long. Usually it's like a day or two, and I'm good. Get this right. I don't know, that just seems like it needs a little bit of smoothing out here. Alright. One of the things I gotta look up is a Peter Bagg interview. Which, first I thought I was going to have beef with Peter Bagg, but it looks like, based on the reaction of uh, the um, neo-Nazis who read Reason magazine, that I was reading online, I don't think I have beef with Peter Bagg, which is good. Because, I like his work. It's weird and rubbery and fascinating and yet cynical and influential and important to a lot of the subcultures that was around, that was in vogue in the 90s. In the libertarian movement is all thanks to Rose Wilder, whatever her last name is, daughter of. There we go. Hey, that looks pretty good. All right, well, I think that about wraps this up then. Thank you everybody for watching. That looks frightening. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this video didn't fragment, but we shall see. I don't know what happened in the middle of it, but whatever. I'm gonna go eat now and work on the other 14 million things I got to do today. But